Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the breakfast show, and especially good morning to my West Coast friends. I know how early it is for you. So today we have quite the news. We have an Iren and a Microsoft deal that has been announced. Cipher also reported their quarterly figures and also announced a partnership deal with Amazon AWS. I know some of you do own a Fubo. Fubo did also report this morning, so we're going to touch on that. But of course, the big news is that Iren and a Microsoft deal announcement. Iren will report their quarterly figures Thursday. So good start of the week, of course. We do have also a couple of other things that we can discuss. But as of right now, if we look at the pre-market action, this is basically it. We have NVIDIA that's up 2%, Palantir 2.5%. Of course, Palantir will report their quarterly figures later today. Europe market opens. Yeah. I mean, because the US changed their time tomorrow. So this is basically it. This is what we have right now. The pre-market, but of course the big move comes from Iren. Again, pre-market action. We'll see what happens when the market opens, but right now Iren is up around 20.5%. Why is that, you might ask? Well, simple answer. It is because of this. We've got a big deal. Iren and Microsoft, a contract value of around $9.7 billion on a 5-year term. There is here a 20% prepayment. We'll talk about that. And that's for 200 megawatts of data center IT load. The market's open at the regular time for everyone, 3:30 European time. So this is basically it. $9.7 billion total contract value, $5.8 billion of GPU capex, including ancillaries, which we can see right here. This includes deployment services, servers, InfiniBand, cabling, and licensing costs. 5-year average term targeting phase starts in 2026. 20% prepayment credited to years 3 to 5. And these are, of course, for NVIDIA GB300 GPU deployments. Strong margins underpinned by data center ownership. So the ARR here is $1.9 $94 billion. How do they get to that number? That's the annualized run rate revenue that represents average annual revenue under the contract, assuming on-time delivery and commissioning of GPUs, and an estimated 85% project EBITDA margin. Here as well, how do they reach the 85% EBITDA margin? That represents expected total project earnings after power, repairs, and maintenance and other direct operating costs, including data center operating costs, but before corporate overhead, financing costs, and non-cash or accounting presentation adjustments that do not impact project level cash flows, divided by the total project revenue. I'm not surprised by all of this. Of course, they've been saying time and time again, we are looking at co-location type of deals or deals with hyperscalers, but these deals need to make sense to us from a margin perspective, from return on investment perspective. So seeing here a high EBITDA margin estimate, I'm not that surprised, because if it were lower, I don't think they would have taken that deal. So 200 megawatts of AI data center, vertically integrated AI cloud service provider. Iren builds and operates its own data centers, execution managed by in-house demand, design, engineering, and construction teams, no third-party colocation costs or counterparty risks. It's going to be 4 times 50 megawatts of IT load. Right? There is a difference again between the IT load and the gross one. So 4 times 50 megawatt phases at Childress through 2026. That's Horizon 1 to 4. There is another picture that I'll show you in a bit. And so the estimated all-in capex is around $15 million per megawatt of IT load at the midpoint. 9 to 11 million data center infrastructure, 3 million deployment of 100 megawatt supercluster architecture, and flexible rack densities around 130 to 200 kilowatts, and around $2 million acceleration cost to achieve the 2026 delivery of full 200 megawatt capacity. So basically, this is what we're getting here. This is Horizon 1 to 4 is the top, and then 5 to 10, which is 450 megawatts, is here all the rest. Again, this is a rendering. This does not exist as of today. So all in all, available power is 740 megawatts for Childress, I think it's Childress, Texas. 450 megawatts of additional capacity is available. So all in all, things look great, right? Things looks great for Iren. Right now, getting here is 2.5 billion in ARR. How do they reach the 2.5 billion? Well, it's the $1.94 billion in ARR from that Microsoft deal, on top of the $500 million that they've already told us previously, the over $500 million ARR from the around 23,000 GPUs that were announced not that long ago. The Microsoft contract scales Iren's footprint to 100,000 GPUs. So that's not bad at all. We do have some extra information, I believe. Yeah, I believe here. So under the agreement, Iren will provide Microsoft with access to NVIDIA GB300 GPUs over a 5-year term with a total contract value of $9.7 billion, including a 20% prepayment. Iren has also entered into an agreement with Dell Technologies to purchase GPUs and ancillary equipment for approximately $5.8 billion. So Dell is a player here as well. Iren does expect to fund the capital expenditures associated with the contract through a combination of existing cash, customer prepayments, operating cash flows, and additional financing initiatives. What are those? Remains to be seen. A couple of comments here. From the co-founder and co-CEO, Daniel Roberts, we're proud to announce this milestone partnership with Microsoft, highlighting the strength and scalability of our vertically integrated AI cloud platform. This agreement not only validates Iren's position as a trusted provider of AI cloud services, but also opens access to a new customer segment among global hyperscalers. It marks another major step forward for Iren as we continue to expand large-scale GPU deployment across our 3 gigawatt secured power portfolio. Again, there's a difference between secured, connected power portfolio in North America, reinforcing our position as a leading AI cloud service provider. As for President Business Development and Ventures at Microsoft, together with Iren, Microsoft is delivering cutting edge AI infrastructure for our customers. Iren expertise in building and operating a fully integrated AI cloud from data centers to GPU stack combined with their secured power capacity makes them a strategic partner. This collaboration unlocks a new growth opportunity for both companies as the customers we serve. Of course, we've heard Satya talk about the fact that, look, GPUs right now, they're not the issue. We have chips, we have the GPUs, we just don't have places where to plug them in. Right? The power is the issue. The available data center is the issue. And so now that we're seeing Iren, we've seen Nebius, we've seen Cipher deals, these make a lot more sense, especially after the latest earnings reports, because, well, you've got the GPUs, you just don't know where you're going to plug them in. And so you want to move faster. These deals will be made more and more, in my opinion. So all in all, very good on the Iren side of things. We'll of course learn way more on Thursday when Iren will report their quarterly figures. You're going to see maybe a better mix between, of course, the Bitcoin mining and the AI cloud business, how much they've managed to move already to pivot between those two businesses. So a very good way to start the week. Let's see if we got any questions before moving into something else. Let's see. Of course, I own both. I own Nebius, I own Iren, I own CoreWeave as well. So when everyone's fighting between them, I'm here collecting cash, which is always the best one, which is always the best thing. My top position, unfortunately, trimmed after you trimmed. Why is it unfortunate if it's still your top position? It's not unfortunate. You cannot go back. You thought it was the best thing for you to trim before. I still believe it's the best thing for me as well. It's just managing exposure. JJ, thank you for a super chat. And Nebius CTO made some strange comments Friday saying none of the other neo clouds are true clouds. It gave sore loser vibes. I knew a contract has been won. I hope this doesn't impact Nebius momentum. Well, I mean, Nebius had a 17.4 up to close to $20 billion contract with Microsoft. The reason he said that none of the other neoclouds are true neoclouds is because Nebius, again, this is why I believe that Nebius is different. Doesn't mean that the others won't make money. It's just I think that Nebius, first of all, Nebius comes from a background of already building a huge tech company in Yandex. So they've got that experience before. Now, it's been made quite clear by me, by all of the other Nebius investors, let's say, and Nebius management that, yes, building a cloud specifically for the age of AI is going to be a big advantage, right? Because you need different types of workloads, different types of efficiencies, structures. So it is different. And I think this is what he meant here. Other neoclouds are not true clouds. They might provide a, let's say, AI cloud solution, but I do think that Nebius, yes, thanks to the software stack, they are the different player in this case. And I think it will show. I think they will show it time and time again in execution, in the growth in the business, in the amount of enterprise customers that they will attract. Because remember, we already have Cloudflare and Shopify. It's not small companies. We have the Microsoft huge deal. Nebius owns 28% of ClickHouse. ClickHouse is a company that works with huge companies, right? Tesla, I think Netflix, I think Spotify was one of them, and some of the other big players out there. So yes, I think it's true to say for them, for their standpoint, it might sound like a sore loser or whatever, but then again, the way that Nebius management speaks, a lot of Russians there, so a lot of straight shooting, I would say. It's just saying, in my opinion, what they believe is the truth, is their solution is not to be compared to the others. But again, I reiterate, which is why I own Iren as well. That doesn't mean that you will not be making money when you're on Iren or when you're on Cipher or whatever. It's been made quite clear by a lot of the big hyperscalers out there that we just need way more power. We need a lot more capacity. These are the players that can provide that. So that's it. That's it. After Sam Altman's comment on Brad's question and the immense capex of the hyperscaler bond release, Meta and Google, correct? Do you believe that they will have a return on investment worth the spending? You're talking here about OpenAI, or you're talking about the other companies? Because the other companies have an actual business today, right? They have their core business. Amazon has their core business. Google has the core business. Meta has the core business. And the results speak for themselves. AI is helping the core business perform better. So I think the return on investment is already making a little bit of sense for them. Of course, I don't think that's the end game. I think a lot of them would like it to grow way more. I think you're going to see a lot more solutions, applications, whatever you want to call it, in the future that were enabled thanks to all of that spending. Then the question will be, okay, how much of an impact does that come from all of this spending? That I guess remains to be seen. But from an OpenAI standpoint, again, okay, they're not generating $13 billion in revenue. They're probably generating way more, but still, they're also losing way more money. So we'll see. I think OpenAI it's been made quite clear that they are the biggest risk in this AI build out. I think so. Am I going to make a video about Oscar? Well, I did a video about Oscar a week ago. I don't think anything has changed since then. So the next one will be the earnings one. The next one will be the earnings one. The Iren and CoreWeave one started in a speculative portfolio. I wish I could have just brought them into the main portfolio, but I would have to sell them and then buy them again, and then the average just is going to be completely different. Plus, that means that I sold for gains, and it just stays there, and that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. But whenever I will add more, you will of course get a notification. You will get a notification. But all in all, this year for Iren, very good. Again, it also puts them on the map, right? We knew Iren, but maybe the world did not know Iren. It's like the same with Nebius. We knew Nebius, but after that Microsoft deal, I think more and more people started to know, more and more companies started to know about Nebius. I believe the same here will be said or can be said about Iren right now. And I'll repeat the same thing as a holder of both. To grow, to generate a lot more revenue in the future, what do we need? GPUs. So we know that these big companies have GPUs. Now we also know that these big companies need places to put those GPUs. And so if Iren, if CoreWeave, if Nebius, if Cipher, if whatever the other players out there are going to say, look, you've got the GPUs, we've got the power, we've got the data centers already built, why don't we reach an agreement? And I think that's what we're going to see more and more, because the big players want to move as fast as possible. And so very good. Yes, I'm using different, because I don't want my money to be stuck into one account. You never know what will happen. So I am diversifying. Plus, I have my old one, which is where I have my, let's call it, retirement portfolio. Then for the speculative one, it's eToro, because it's very cheap to move around there. So that is it. Fubo. Okay, let's maybe quickly touch on that. This is Iren. If we have questions, we'll come back to Iren a bit later. I'm actually maybe before Fubo, this was the Cipher one. So Cipher provided third quarter business update. The big update, let's say, was this. So first of all, the third quarter was truly transformative for Cipher. We executed a pivotal transaction with Fluidstack and Google, which firmly established our credibility in the HPC space. Here again, the police is coming to get me. Just kidding. We are now following that transaction with another step forward by signing our first direct lease with a tier 1 hyperscaler. Cipher today announced an approximate $5.5 billion 15-year lease agreement with AWS to provide turnkey space and power for AI workloads. Under the term of this lease agreement, Cipher will deliver 300 megawatts of capacity in 2026, including both air and liquid cooling to the racks. The capacity will be delivered in 2 phases, expected to begin in July 2026 and completed in the fourth quarter of 2026, with rent commencing in August 2026 as well. So, very good announcement there. Again, there is momentum. There is definitely momentum for a lot of these smaller, let's say, miners turned into AI cloud players. So moving on quickly here to Fubo. Where is my tab here? So Fubo is up a little bit. Pre-market. We're now at $4. People were calling Iren a meme stock last week. I mean, they were still talking. They were still calling Nebius one as well, even after the Microsoft deal. And I'm pretty sure it will be called a meme stock for a while right now. Then Fubo up around 5%. The quarter itself, these were the results. North America revenue, it was down 2.3%. Paid subscribers up 1.1%. Rest of the world revenue was also down 3.2%. And the paid subscribers for the rest of the world were also down 9.5%. But the adjusted EBITDA was positive. So that's already the second consecutive quarter where that happens, despite revenue coming in lower year over year. Of course, the strategic combination with the Walt Disney companies Hulu and plus Live TV business is a significant development, positioning Fubo as the 6th largest pay TV service in the United States, with nearly 6 million subscribers in North America combined. This merger is expected to enable Fubo to achieve greater scale, enhance personalization, and improve profitability. The company's ability to achieve positive adjusted EBITDA for 2 consecutive quarters, despite a slight year-over-year revenue decline in North America, demonstrates improved operational efficiency and a working business model. The record third quarter subscriber growth in North America highlights the success of Fubo's product strategy, including new offerings like Fubo Sports Skinny service, and pay-per-view platform. The guidance here has not been given because of the strategic deal here with Hulu. Hulu is like Fubo and Hulu. That's crazy how fast it gets dark these days. Although it's still like 3 p.m., but it feels like it's 5. It's horrible. Cancel daylight savings time. So yeah, I mean, I've talked about Fubo before a little bit after the Disney thing came out. Look, it's nice. It's not bad at all. But it's still a streaming player, right? It's still a streaming player. Yes, it's a small company, right? It's what is it still? Yeah, less than 10 billion. And so there is upside, especially after the deal. There is definitely upside there. But to me, there's less. I mean, if you want a streaming player, I think Netflix has pulled back enough. Okay, might not be a multi-bagger in the making, but I think Netflix is still a great pick. Still a great pick going forward. But yeah, Fubo, good results, good performance for sure. So congrats to all the shareholders. Now I know. Wait, I know there are a lot of questions about Meta. I believe Meta is also one of those no-brainers, especially after the latest dip, in the stock. Stock is now, let's see. The drawdown is, yes, 17% or so for Meta. It's a 17% drawdown right now. Price to sale is sub 1. Yeah, but again, there is a reason why, right? There's a reason why price to sale is sub 1 in this case. 50 cents in EPS in a couple of years. Again, remains to be seen. This whole streaming game remains a very, very competitive space, especially on pricing these days. And so we'll see. But the price to sale sub 1, there is a reason why it's trading like that. Yeah, no, it's dark because there are plenty of clouds, so there's no sunlight, basically. There is no sunlight. Meta up a tiny bit pre-market, 1.3% or so. I think Meta, again, I'll cover it more later today in another video, because I think this is one where if you've been waiting to pick this one up, I think this is an opportunity. It's now up 9.6% year to date after being up 25%. Why did Meta dip that much? Because of the earnings report, which again was very good in my opinion, but it's because they made it quite clear that they're going to spend a lot more money. They're going to spend a lot more money. It will hurt 2026 profits. People are scared that this is 2022 all over again. Is the main reason, because as I will show you in the upcoming video, it was a good quarter. It's still an amazing company, very profitable. Over 3 point something billion people use their services. And no, I'm not concerned at all about Meta doing another Metaverse 2.0. Remember, Meta doing Metaverse 2.0 is also the reason why they were one of the first one to buy an insane amount of GPUs. So the pivot was, okay, maybe the Metaverse message was a bit too much, but the direction they were going to made sense. And I think the direction that they're going into right now makes also sense. Plus, like I said before, you're already seeing the business become more profitable, the core business become more profitable thanks to those AI investments. So let's see what we've got else here on the docket, as they say. Oh yeah, there is, of course. Oh, actually, we can do that. Hims and Hers is reporting later today, so maybe let's have a look at what the market is expecting. AMD reports tomorrow after the close. I did a specific AMD video a couple of days ago, and we'll probably do a quick preview tomorrow in the live stream as well. Today, I just want to focus on what's happening right now. So Hims and Hers reports later today. Where is it here? Estimates. Let's see what the market is expecting. So, where is my here? So if we look at the September estimate, let's do the median here, $580 million. That's up 53.4% year over year. So that's the expected number for the upcoming quarter, which they'll report later today. EPS of around 10 cents, and that's an increase of 100. Okay, so the mean is 10 cents, that's 101%. The median is 9 cents, that's 80% growth. Still not bad at all, 80% growth. Free cash flow, we do not get anything. Oh, yes, we do. Free cash flow of around $106 million. That's up 78.5%. 78.5%. Wait, what? OpenAI and AWS signed $38 billion. What? Let's check that real quick. Amazon is up 4.4%. Wait. We have some breaking news here, it seems. Some breaking the news. Where is it? Is it a new thing? Oh, we also have a Toast and Uber announcement. A lot of news this morning. I love it. Great way to start the day and the week. Let's see. Let's see if it's new news. Is it new news or is it not new news? AWS, OpenAI. Why am I not seeing anything? Yeah, AWS was not part of the flywheel. Yeah. But why am I not seeing anything about this? Raymond, is this new news or is this old news? This is new news. Okay. Let's see. Actually, Wall Street Journal is one where I do have access to articles. Okay. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. OpenAI. Wow. OpenAI Amazon signed $38 billion cloud deal. I mean, company's first computing partnership is part of Amazon's effort to grow its cloud business. I mean, when we went back to the Amazon report and they said that, what was it, Q3 had already more deals than whatever time frame before. Yeah, I mean, $38 billion. That's definitely going to move the needle here. So let's zoom in a little bit. Voila. AWS has agreed to pay Amazon $38 billion. Wait, no. AWS. OpenAI has agreed to pay Amazon $38 billion for computing power in a multi-year deal that marks the first partnership between the startup and the cloud giant. I mean, one hell of a startup when you're worth $500 billion. But yeah, the question which Sam didn't answer when Brad asked the question, and Satya was laughing there, $38 billion, where will they get their $38 billion from? Correct? Because OpenAI is giving tens of billions of dollars to every company they're partnering up with, but where is that $38 billion coming from? The deal announced on Monday will help satisfy OpenAI's fast-growing computing needs. Amazon expects that all the computing capacity negotiated as part of the agreement will be available to OpenAI by the end of next year. Okay, giving the ChatGPT maker quick access to powerful NVIDIA chips. Aha, interesting. Amazon is under pressure. Well, Amazon is not really under pressure anymore, let me tell you that, from investors to accelerate the growth of its AWS cloud services. We've seen the growth accelerate already. Margins have ticked up there as well. As part of this, okay, this is a 7-year pact. OpenAI will be able to train new AI models using Amazon's data centers and use them to process ChatGPT queries. It could also use Amazon's central processing units or CPUs to power what is called agentic AI, where the technology completes tasks autonomously. And again, this is the deal is tiny compared with those OpenAI has signed with other cloud giants, which includes a $300 billion deal with Oracle, a $250 billion commitment to Microsoft, but it represents a key first step in Amazon's efforts to ensure that its cloud business can benefit from a company that is pledging to spend trillions of dollars on computing power in the coming years. Where is the money coming from? We don't know. We don't know. Maybe they're going to try and pay with monopoly money. They can try. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, we all know that OpenAI is growing very quickly. Even if they're generating, let's say, $50 billion, there's still a big gap. There is still a very, very big gap. So, yeah, they say it right here. OpenAI now has almost $600 billion in new cloud commitments between Oracle, Microsoft, and Amazon. It has also signed a cloud deal with Google earlier this year. And the size is not disclosed. So we know they have financial backers. We know they have NVIDIA backing them as well. But still, there are a couple of dollars here and there that might be missing. that might be missing. So, I mean, if Sam Altman is reading this, Wall Street Journal is going to get one heck of a reaction from Sam. OpenAI is set to generate $13 billion in revenue this year. First of all, we are generating way more than that. And if you're not happy with your shares, then you can sell them and somebody else would buy them. Haha. Yeah, this would have been Sam Altman's response to this sentence right here. I mean, they will only IPO once they restructure the business, because as a non-profit, I don't think you can IPO like that. So we'll see how they'll do it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but I mean, as an Amazon shareholder, I don't think we're going to complain about the recent price action, right? The recent price action after the earnings report. We also have a very nice bounce here on that 50-day moving average. Amazon at all-time highs, pre-market, all well and good. Who's red actually pre-market? BMNR is red, United Health, Oscar, Marvell, Shift4, and SoFi basically flat pre-market. Big winner, of course, Iren up 20%, Amazon 4.5%, Micron continues on its way up, incredible, up another 3.5%, HIMS is up close to 3% pre-market, NVIDIA 2.5%, Applied Digital 2.7%, Duolingo, forgot to say that yesterday, Duolingo is reporting November 5th. So I guess there's just not much attention going to Duolingo that it managed to get a spot on eWhisper's calendar. But yeah, Duolingo, maybe a double bottom here before the earnings. Maybe. We'll see on Wednesday what the implied move is. Palantir, $205 going into this earnings report. We're going to get back to the HIMS earnings preview. Zeta 1.5, CoreWeave 1.4, same with Nebius 1.5 being up. Meta, we'll see if we can go back here above the 50. That's on the weekly, by the way. Hood up 1%, PayPal up 1%, but don't let that fool you. We are always green pre-market PayPal, but we never end green. It is what it is. I'm laughing, but it's a sad story. It's a sad story. AMD 0.4, Uber 0.8, Reddit 0.8. Same with Intel, and then all the rest here about the same. With regards to where is Uber? With regards to Uber, we do have a little announcement here between. Is it the same thing here? Yeah, approximately. So we have here Uber and Toast. They announced a global partnership making Uber the preferred delivery marketplace for Toast restaurants. Starting in the United States and Canada, they launched tools in 2026, letting restaurants manage Uber Eats promotions and ads directly from Toast to boost sales and streamline operations. So, me as a Uber shareholder, the more of those partnerships, the better, because Uber will, and in my opinion, is already such a centralized marketplace for takeouts. I mean, mobility, delivery. I just think they'll become bigger and bigger over time. Uber does report tomorrow before the market opens. So let me repost that real quick. I thought my volume was low, but no. Eddie, thank you for a super chat. Okay, I'm starting to worry. I am invested heavily in AMD, and I'm starting to feel like I'm going to look like a fool when Sam I mean, if Sam does default, I don't think only AMD shareholders are going to be looking like fools, but everyone else basically investing in AI. But if he defaults before they go public, I am pretty sure that the biggest losers are going to be the one that bought it at $500 billion in the private market. But yeah, I honestly had the opportunity to buy OpenAI at I think it was $175 billion. So yes, it would have been already quite a good return. But then again, you're locked in. You're locked in, and you're paying fees because again, I had to go through someone. And honestly, I don't think it was worth it, because there are plenty of opportunities in the public market where you don't have any lockup and any extra fees and whatnot. It would have been cool. That's the only thing. It would have been cool to own a piece of OpenAI, but I'm not here to be cool. I'm here to make money. So that was a very quick conclusion and decision. Going back to the HIM stuff. Going back to the HIM stuff really quick, and then we have 15 minutes, a bit more than 15 minutes left until the market opens. So EBIT for the quarter is expected to be around $20. That's the medium number. That's up 120%. That's up 120% year over year. I'm not. The minimum amount you had to put in it is okay. Now the minimum amount is big. It's 100K. That's also one of the things that I wouldn't have wanted to put 100K to be locked only in OpenAI, but yeah. I don't think it's fully done, the switcheroo. At least from what I understood, I don't think it's fully switcherooed already. I know that they're trying to make it to fully prepare for an IPO, but I'm not sure if the switcheroo has been 100% completed. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Did I discuss Meta? Yes, I discussed Meta a little bit, but again, I will feature Meta in a video that's later today. I am, of course, very bullish on the company, and I think seeing the price action right now, if you're looking for something in November, I think Meta could be the play. Let me do. How do we do this again? Start a poll. Okay. HIM's stock after hours. Up, down, flat. Always add flat. So we'll let that run for a bit. And then we'll come back to it. So that's HIM's. Let's actually have a look at what they told us 3 months ago. Let's see. Slides. Investor presentazione. You know, the whole Iren Nebius clown show that people try. It's the same with SoFi and Robinhood. As someone who's neutral, and in this case, again, owns both, I couldn't care less. I'm happy. I see my shares go up. I see me making paper gains. That's all that matters. Whoever wants to farm for some $3 impressions on X, go ahead. To me, the most important is for my shares to go up and up and up, then retire quite nicely, and that's about it. So okay, so last quarter, HIMSS told us this. They're still expecting these targets for 2030. So revenue of at least $6.5 billion and adjusted EBITDA of at least $1.3 billion. Do I consider anything above 2%, anything above 2%, or well, I mean 2% on the upside and on the downside. I should drink Celsius. Yeah, but I can't find Celsius in Belgium, but I think it's. I don't know. I feel it's expensive. For what it is. But when I was in the States, I bought it. Although I think I only bought one can or something. Where is the guidance that they give? Okay, so this is the guidance that we should be looking for. So midpoint $580 million, which is approximately what the market is expecting. Look at this. The retired streamer is here in the chat, Jose. Although we are going to stream AMD's earnings tomorrow. So at least there is that. So this is it for HIMSS. $580 million at the midpoint for revenue for the quarter, and adjusted EBITDA $65 million at the midpoint for the quarter. And for full year guidance, we're going to see if they do increase it or if they reiterate full year 2025 guidance, expected to generate between 2.3 to 2.4 billion dollars. Peach Vibe is exactly the one that I go for. Celsius in Carrefour, okay. I guess I'll have to go to it. Although I prefer Deleuze. Deleuze and Colruyt. Maybe Albert Heijn, because that's the closest one. And so that's basically Nebius. That's basically, a wild Jose has appeared. Maybe we should throw a Pokeball and try to catch him. So that's HIMSS. Let's see what the poll is saying. Right now we are here at 44% say up, 35 say down, and 22 say flat. Okay, interesting stuff. Doesn't really move much. Switcheroo is effectively complete. It's arranged at the foundation. Controls 20. Okay, interesting. So what was the last step? Was it maybe Microsoft that had to agree to something? Maybe that was the last step that I saw. I don't know. OpenAI can't go public now. He did talk about it. He did talk about it. But we all have the same question. Where is the money coming from? If we ask Sam Altman, he will scream at us and say, if you don't want your shares, I'm pretty sure I can find you some buyers of your shares. But yeah. We should check what Oscar is doing. Correct. We should. Although Jose has not been with us for a while, so I think that curse is over because Oscar has been coming down a little bit more recently. So yeah. But yeah, I don't want Sam to start crashing my stream because he will see that we're skeptical on the numbers. He might come and screw us over. Looking at Palantir, because they also report later today, man, that's going to be also it's going to be a crazy one because of the valuation. Right? It's going to be a crazy one because of the valuation. So the numbers that they have to put up the numbers that they have to put up is going to be insane. I mean, last quarter was already a crazy quarter across the board, right? The growth rates, whether it's commercial or government, margins, whatever, insane. And so this was basically it. Last quarter, crazy quarter. Quarter over quarter growth for US commercial, 20%, year over year, 93%. Was amazing. The problem is always here when we talk about Palantir, the problem has always been the price, right? The price that you're paying for it. Why don't I talk about European companies? I think I am one of the only ones that actually covered European companies. I mean, LVMH I covered, ASML I covered, Ferrari, Novo Nordisk, Evolution AB as well. I covered Rheinmetall, the French company, Dassault Systems or something like that. Spotify is also, of course, a European company. It's listed in Europe, but also listed in the United States. But yeah, essentially, there's not that many great companies to talk about. Hermes, I talked about, probably one of the best ones. But yeah, Europe has a lot of, let's say, boring companies. Lotus. Yeah, the best EU tech companies are also listed in the United States. Yeah, but I think the question was more specifically on they can be listed in the United States, but those are European. I mean, Nebius is a European company, right? Nebius is headquartered in Amsterdam. So, and I keep scrolling. I was like, I keep scrolling. I'm not getting to the guidance part. So this is basically it. Last quarter, I called it. I said it's going to be the first quarter above $1 billion. Puff. That's what happened. I think, of course, these figures will be met. And I also believe that guidance is going to be raised because it's just too easy. It's like SoFi. The guidance doesn't make any sense. It's too easy to beat it. And so I do expect them to come in a bit over this number right here, probably $1.1 billion or so. And then revenue for the year will also be increased here. The question remains, does the growth justify the valuation? I think the majority of people will still say no, right? I think you will still say no when you are a company worth $475 billion and you're generating, let's call it $4.2 billion in a year, growing rapidly. You can understand why people are skeptical about the price that you're paying for this business, right? $475 billion market cap, $4.2 billion in revenue, insane margin, right? This is a company that is growing faster while margins are expanding. Crazy. They don't have insane amount of capex either, because it is a software play, software AI play, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, that's going to be the thing. That's going to be the thing. I will now start a poll for Palantir. So for HIMS, it's 43% up, 35% down, and 22% flat. Now the other one is going to be an interesting one. Palantir after hours, up, down. I'm not putting flat because I don't think there's going to be flat for this one. I don't think it's going to be flat for this one. Russell, thank you very much for the super chat. Congrats on another win for Crystal Palace, by the way. I sold my SNS ISA in UK. Okay. Last week to transfer to new USA account as cannot sell shares, including Iren, AMD, Nebius, SoFi, Hood, etc. 5x from April. Congrats. Thank you, Neil. That's me. For everything helping doing my due diligence. Buy again or wait after earnings. I mean, you're out of them. You're out of them because you had to go out of them to transfer those. So, okay. I mean, it sucks, but I guess it is what it is. AMD is tomorrow. Iren is Thursday. SoFi has already reported, so I guess SoFi is a safer add right now because they already reported. So you can look at the numbers and say you like it. I liked it very much, and I think it's still a good company to keep adding. Hoot also reports on Wednesday. The thing here with these names is those are volatile names, especially going into the earnings report. Those are volatile names. So you could always like have a starter position, earnings, stock goes up and down, and you allocate accordingly. Putting everything back before the earnings and then taking the earnings hit is a bit annoying. So you can do 50 before and then the other 50 after. Something like that, I think, should make you sleep better at night for sure. QNC, thank you for a super chat. Wait. 76.5. Wait, what? Okay, maybe that was for something else. But why didn't you buy Nvidia and Palantir shares in larger quantities earlier? So I had a bigger Palantir position, right? I've been talking about Palantir since it went public, and I've had those shares a long time. My mistake in hindsight was I sold everything instead of taking a huge amount of profits at, was it $70 before? I know, crazy, right? It went even higher. The reasoning why I did it is because at that time I thought it was way too expensive, which I still believe that is the case. Should I have sold everything? No, because I still liked the company. I still believe that it will continue to grow. It's just the price didn't make sense to me anymore. Do I regret it? Yes. But then again, it allowed me to buy other companies that have also performed very well. Nvidia is one that I bought in 2019, sold too early, never got back in. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I made money with both of them. Could I have bought them again, especially in the April crash or the DeepSeek drama? Yes, I could have. But I decided to buy other companies. I bought a Nebius, and then I think Nebius has performed very well. So again, with this, I could have done this, I should have done that. I'm not going to advance or evolve. I learn from the mistakes or from the decisions that I make, and that's about it. And I think I'm quite happy with the way things have evolved. Would have loved, of course, to own Nvidia still, but okay, now we have AMD, and AMD I think is performing quite well for me. Even Intel has performed quite well. Micron. so yeah. Yeah, Jose has decided that our show is not good enough for him. He's focused on other projects. Basically, he's trying to raise money for OpenAI in order for Nvidia not to blow up. That's basically it. That's basically it. Okay, so it happened last week. Okay, last week I didn't really pay attention that much. So thank you for the heads up, Simon. I really appreciate it. And with that, the markets are about to open. Unfortunately, Jose is not here, but he can ding in the comment section below if he wants. So we're making our way to the market open. Shift 4 is reporting Thursday. Last time I checked. Shift 4 is reporting Thursday. I believe Sezzle, someone told me that Sezzle is also reporting this week. So yeah, we'll try and cover as many as possible. And so, whoa, sorry about that. Clapped too much. And so the market is open. Ding, bing, bing, bong. Markets are open. We even have a digital ding from Jose here. So despite him not appearing on camera, he is ding in the background. He is ding in the background. But like I said, we are going to stream tomorrow AMD's earnings report. Whether or not he wants to join me in the morning to talk about Uber is up to him. So if you want him to come on tomorrow, see, Jose, I'm pushing you to come on tomorrow morning. Let us know in the chat below. Let us know in the chat below. We'll let the watch list do its thing for the next couple of seconds, and then we'll come back to it to see what has gone on. But we are seeing a lot more green than red, which is exactly what you want. I should find a buyer for those Jose shares in the show. I mean, maybe Brad Gerstner wants to buy. Maybe maybe he wants to buy the shares. Okay, so in the meantime, we do have here some poll results, and the poll for Palantir is okay, feisty stuff here. It's almost 50-50. It's 49% say up, 51% say down. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, enough chit-chatting. Let's have a quick look at some of the names, shall we? Let's have a quick look at some of the names. So, numero uno, we have here Iren. Iren is up 18.7%, 18% right now. Amazon up 5%, both of them, of course, making all-time highs. Micron continues to rip. Amazing stuff, up 4.5%. Nvidia 3%, HIMS 2.5%, Nebius is up 2.4%, still at $134. I did see a comment about Nebius. Where is it? Am I interested in my Pagaya shares? Yes, I am very interested in my Pagaya shares, although right now I will first look at how the options play plays out, and then we might convert them into actual shares. But Pagaya reports not this week, the next one. Same with Rocket Lab, Nebius. I mean, everyone's reporting next week as well as this, the smaller players. What do I think about Nebius current PE? I think Nebius current PE is not really worth looking at the moment. Like I don't even think there is an E to look at right now. With many of these companies growing that quickly, there's no point of looking at a PE. You have to look at the PE when the company is already more established. It's like say, oh, look at SoFi's PE, the first quarter that they became profitable. There's no point in looking at that because it just turned a profit. We are looking at that right now, and we're looking at the EPS growth as well, and that continues to grow very, very fast. Palantir up 2%. Duolingo $275, up 1.5%. They're reporting Wednesday. AMD reports tomorrow, basically flat, but green today. Uber also, they report tomorrow before the open. Let's see if we can finally really make our push above that $100. Reddit 207. Reddit had a pretty good earnings last week. Stock reacted positively, and then it went back down a little bit. Marvell still at the 90s. Hood still around 150. Meta up 1% here. Actually, I'm showing here the weekly, which is fine. But let's quickly look at the daily. This is basically it. Meta is still under 200-day moving average on the daily. Nu is at $16. Nu reports, when is it? Also next week, Tuesday 13. Intel still floating around $40. Like I said, with Intel, I have time. My option play, thankfully, was close to perfection. And now I have time to see what happens with that. The PayPal options play, they are still mostly green. I think there's just one. I think the $90 2027, January 2027 are down a little bit, but all the rest is still green, although they were greener. They were greener back here and here, but I still have time. The closest one is March, so still have 4 months or so left. Of course, ideally, I would love PayPal to be closer to $100 in January than in March. But yeah, I have March, I have June, and then all the rest is just January 2027. So I still have time on those, although you do wonder what they need to do in order to go up, because if the last earnings report was not enough for them to stay in the $70, then I don't know what is. Then I don't know what is. But I have confidence in them. I still hold some shares of PayPal as well, not just options. So that's the tiny difference here. Applied Digital, still $35. D-Local. D-Local is also for next week. We are sitting here on that 50-day moving average on the daily. I mean, to me, D-Local is also, I mean, last quarter, we've seen it go from $11, $12 all the way to 16. I think this time we can see it go up higher as well, because the performance is going to be good, profitable, fast growing. So that's all good. Rubrik, I'll talk about Rubrik later, but Rubrik, their report, we have some time. We have some time until they report. Still $75 here. We have here Google, $281. Okay, but let's stabilize a little bit here at the top. Shift4 still under $70. They report Thursday, as you can see right here, before the market opens. So same as Oscar. Then you've got Rocket Lab, that's down a little bit. United Health, SoFi is back under $30. CoreWeave down 0.5%. AST $77. Oscar here down 1.6%, sitting on that 100-day moving average. With Oscar, we have the earnings Thursday before the open. I'll accumulate accordingly afterwards, depending on what has changed guidance-wise, if anything has changed. Of course, we're going to have a look at all the others. So we have Adobe here, 0.5%. I will release my Adobe video probably late. No, not later today. This week for sure. Salesforce basically flat, but at $260. We have Sezzle. Sezzle is also reporting Wednesday after the close, and Sezzle keeps taking hits. So we're back here at, well, the gap. There was a gap here in the May quarter where we went from $53 all the way to $66. Is it trying to fill that gap? We'll see. I mean, in order to fill that gap, it will have to drop around 16%. That's a big move. That's a big earnings move. So we'll see. We'll see once we get closer to Wednesday, what's the implied move there. I still think it's a fast-growing, cheap company. I don't own it, but we're going to see what they do, of course, when they will report. Then we have Dave. Dave has been performing much better than the rest, and Dave also reports tomorrow before the open. Okay, so tomorrow I guess we have a lot to talk about. We have AMD, AMD after hours. We have Uber, Spotify before the market open. So that's that. I think Figma is taking a hit more recently. I think $50. Yeah, $50 again for Figma. Klarna, same thing, 37, so same prices as before. Affirm probably 74, no, 72. Okay, 72.5. Okay. Cipher is up 27.6% right now on that, earnings / AWS announcement. So congrats to the Cipher guys and girls. 6% of women watching the channel. Mercado Libre is basically fat, but still holding here $2,300. Like I said, around these prices here, no brainer. Not cheap, but it will never be cheap. So, thank you for a super chat. Hood and AMD, trim or hold pre-earnings. I'd say hold off and buy maybe after the earnings. I mean, add after the earnings. It's difficult to say that you have to take profits before an earnings. I mean, it's not something that the question to me during an earnings is either I buy before the earnings or I wait for after. It's not whether I sell before the earnings. I don't know if that answers your question, but I guess hold would be the answer, and then add after if you'd like to. Nebius and Iren, which has more upside this month? Honestly, I don't know. And I don't care because I don't care what happens this month. Both of them, in my opinion, will go up more in the future, and that's why I own them. Not to sell them all at the end of the month, unless you have options. Then yeah, then I guess that's something else. Apart from Iron, partially, do you have any energy exposure? Well, other than the Enphase options that are deep in the red. Well, I would say Tesla is also an energy exposure, I guess, right? With the Tesla energy business doing quite well, so I guess that's one. But if you're talking about the other ones, the BE was it, or maybe Vistra or whatever? No, I don't own those. Can you explain why Oscar is down so much now? Earnings on the horizon. What do you see happening? Probably because of the government shutdown and ACA subsidy conversation, whatever. Although again, the ACA subsidies being extended are not included in Oscar's guidance. And so, yeah, we are back to prices not seen since the end of September. Yes, we were higher, but yeah, it's been a resistance points right here. And now we're sitting again on that 100-day moving average going into the earnings report. United Health reported last week, and Roberto can back me up on that if he's still watching or listening. United Health earnings were fine. Right? United Health's earnings were fine. They did not give us guidance for 2026, but they did say that the estimates from analysts were in line with their expectations, which means that earnings for 2026 and especially 2027 are going to experience significant growth. And so, yeah, I am seeing some recovery there. I think, again, that Oscar will do well. I think Oscar will do well. It could do much better if, of course, we do have ACA subsidies extended. But Oscar was also down because that other company, forgot the name, another company reported earnings, I think a week or two ago, probably 2 weeks ago. Bad report. Medical loss ratio was much higher than expected. Guidance change or whatever, and that affected Oscar. Although I explained that Oscar told us at the start of September that things are looking better. So, in my opinion, again, it's the same as with what happened with Rubrik last week. Is Varonis and another Commvault, they reported bad numbers, profitability hit. Rubrik got hit. I just think there's just a difference in quality in those companies, and it will become quite clear when these Molina Health, thank you. And it will become quite clear when Oscar reports, when Rubrik reports, when Shift4 will report as well, that there is a difference in quality. And that's the beauty of the earnings season. The beauty of the earnings season is that despite a lot of companies playing in the same industry, you can clearly see which company is doing better than the other. Right? Just because it's like I use the same example time and time again. Remember when Snapchat reported before Meta and Google and the Trade Desk? Snapchat reported horrible figures. It crashed all the other advertising players for no reason. Then the other advertising player reported and they went back up. So I think we're going to see that. That again. I think this is Molina. Yeah. So this one, yeah, this is the one here. Basically, it crashed quite drastically, and so it took Oscar down as well. What date was this? 22nd. So if we look at 22nd, yeah. So you see, this is the start of the decline was basically here. So we'll see. Thursday we get answers for Oscar for Shift4. I'm starting to get addicted to this channel. Well, it's a good addiction, I would say. It's a good addiction because, well, first of all, it's free. Well, I do know that you did make a super chat, so thank you for that. But It's mostly free. It's mostly free, and if I'm not showing up, then you're not consuming. So it's a good addiction to have, I would say. It's a good addiction to have. Yes, exactly. One of their competitors, which in my opinion is a worse company than Oscar, because I do think again that Oscar, with the help of AI and all of that, can predict short and long term trends better than the others, which is why we've seen guidance raised 3 months ago, revenue wise, but profitability no. But that's okay. I mean, we know why that happened. What do I expect? I mean, if I knew, if I knew, then I would be very, very rich. But what do I expect? I just want to hear the same thing. I just want to see them reiterate guidance. I wanted to reiterate the comments that they told us at the start of September. And if something has changed, then I assume it's something late September, maybe already October as well. Morbidity, market, medical loss ratio, and all of that. Maybe something changed drastically there. But if not, then I see them. Then I see them continue with their own guidance. The guidance for 2027 is still the same as of today. We'll see. We'll see if that changes. Will you sell Duo after earnings if it goes up? Well, I said I should have taken profits, right, when it was here 2 weeks ago. I mean, taking a bit off the table, because, as you know, I entered Duolingo a bit higher, but at 350, at 342, I was break even. I still want to have my position. I just don't want it to have that much money stuck into that position. So it will have to go up significantly for me to take some profits. But I won't sell unless of course the numbers completely suck and the thesis has changed. But I don't think a thesis changes um, in one quarter. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with it on Wednesday. Oscar should give me a. I agree. I agree. I agree. First Solar. What I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is one of the only energy plays, and this is exactly what I said. Like, this is one of the only energy plays that made sense, because it is not as affected as an Enphase when it comes to residential and all of that, and it has indeed performed very well. It has indeed performed very well. Am I ready to pay the 10%? Yeah, I'm ready. But don't forget that for it's the first 10,000, right? I think it's the first 10,000 euros. You're not taxed on it. So if you don't sell much, sell up to 10,000, and yeah, don't think you get. And I don't believe we're getting taxed up to 10,000. But yeah, I mean, 10% is better than what other countries are getting hit by. And of course, I would have loved it if it stays at 0%. But I guess they have to suck money from somewhere to fill the hole, that they've been digging for many, many years. Grab. Do I like Grab? I like Grab. I'm not in Grab, although indirectly yes, because I own Uber, and Uber owns, like, what is it, 13% of Grab. But if you remember, I talked about Grab, I think it was now 12 months ago. I think my first video on Grab was 12 months ago. So a long, long time ago, before it became popular. I still like the company, but my expectations have always been clear. Yes, it can become a $100 billion company in the future. I think some people thought that, oh, they're buying a $3-4 stock, this thing will go to $50 per share or something like that. But they did not understand that the market cap was already significant, right? The market cap was already significant for it. But yeah. Yeah, you think? I don't know. I don't know. I think once I think once it's in, it's going to stay at 10%. I just don't see them pulling it back. Again, I don't know how much money they're going to generate from it, right? Because I don't think there are many degenerate gamblers or investors in Belgium. But you never know. What do you mean? Why only 10%? We were at zero. We were at zero. Only 10%. It's good enough. It's good enough. So, yeah. Plus, if it were higher, they'll probably lose quite a lot of people in Belgium. People that will just move on. I mean, I recently talked with a couple of people, and they're planning on moving out of here because capital tax gains are coming. They're looking to tax again the rich because that's the only solution here. Although they are planning on increasing the VAT, which is already quite high, 21% to maybe 22%. But at least that's like the whole country gets hit by it. It's like doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, everybody's going to pay an extra. But yeah, you're going to see if more and more countries here in Europe start to really hunt for rich people's wallets, you're going to see, same as the UK, you're going to see millionaires just flee the country. And then what do you do? Problemo. Then it's a problemo. What stocks am I waiting for a good entry? I don't know. I like what I own. I see a lot more red right now than green. A lot more red than green. So you have Nebius red now, Shift 4 AMD, Hood, the local Oscar, Rocket Lab, but we still have some green. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at right now for an entry. It's mostly adding, I would say. It's mostly adding. Can Nebius announce another huge deal? I need it for science. They can, and they probably will. The question is it going to be an AI lab? Is it going to be an enterprise player or another hyperscaler? I don't know, but the selection is there. The selection is there. In Poland, it's 19%, 10% is a bargain. Yes, but how much do you pay on your income? I can predict that it's less than what we do here. I think a lot of people are paying attention to Reddit, but a lot of people just dislike the platform, and that's why. I mean, I've been paying attention to Reddit for a while. I just dislike the platform, so I'm not going to buy it. Couch, you are doing a lot more revenue than free. I think you can find someone else who wants to buy a super chat if you. Good one. Good one. Good one. Don't look up Danish capital gains tax. Well, now that you say this, I was in Copenhagen. Well, I was at the Copenhagen airport. Danish capital gains tax. Aha. Not bad. The standard rate is at 42% and a personal allowance of, what is this, 2,000 Danish kronen exists for popular instruments such as stocks and bonds. Declare income or loss in your annual Danish tax return. 42%. Yeah. I mean, that's the method of calculating. It depends on the nature of the transaction. But in Denmark, yeah, the standard is 42%. Okay, not bad. Anyone wants higher? Who wants higher? Anyone wants a higher number here? We have 42% is now the highest that we found is 42%. Who gets taxed more? In the meantime, the poll for, what is this? I can do this. Very nice. Okay. Where is the live chat? Here it is. Okay, so Palantir after hours up, down. We are literally at 50-50. 50-50%. Not bad. 50-50% up down for Palantir. Yeah, seems like we're okay. Yes, I think we are okay on the capital gains side of things. But on the income tax side of things, I think we're already giving away quite a lot, right? I think we're already giving away quite a lot. You are correct. I have checked out most of these places. Monaco, no, because I do think that to get into Monaco, you need quite a lot of money. But yeah, Malta, Dubai, there are some hoops that you have to jump through, but it's feasible for sure. It's feasible for sure. And also, I've looked into some banks and loans that they give you to buy a house, just to raise cash or whatever. The terms there are quite something. Of course, you need a nice amount of money, but you can put your portfolio as collateral. And then Luxembourg is also not bad. And the fact that Malta, Luxembourg are in Europe, I think it helps a little bit as for Europeans. And if you want to leave Europe, then I guess Dubai is one of the places where people go. You just don't want to spend your summer there because it's literally an oven. Get a cabin on Lake Atitlan and sell Belgian waffles on the side. Yeah, I mean, I was in 2017. I was actually there. I was in San Pedro La Laguna. Very nice. Very, very nice place. Actually, let me see if I can find a picture. Let me see if I can find a picture. I'll close the poll for the Palantir thing. It's basically 50-50. Now it's 51 down, 49 up. But yeah, it's because 50-50 probably are holders of Palantir. I am officially a holder of Palantir as well because I have one share. I have one share. Guatemala sounds good. I mean, Guatemala is the roads are crap. I think I can say that. I think the roads, if you want to go from one place to the other, is not the best of roads out there, but some very, 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 very nice places. I was of course in Flores. I was in San Pedro. I was in Antigua. What's the name? I forgot the name. Let me. I didn't do the volcano thing. I did the smaller one, but I didn't do the big volcano trek because we didn't have that much time. Let's see if I can find it. This thing, but Semouk Champey, voila. Semouk Champey, very, very nice place. Very nice place. Where is this San Pedro thing? Maybe if I can. Indian Nose. That's one of the mountains there. 2017. Ah, yeah, here it is. It's a bit. This was an Instagram picture. I did Pacaya, yes. I mean, there's nothing to do other than burn some marshmallows at the bottom. But this is basically it. There's a small filter on it. But this is my picture. I like to take pictures. It's a very nice. Semouk Champey just got a new road. That's good. Then I don't have to spend like 10 hours, or I don't know, in a chicken bus or whatever that was. Anyways, enough talking about vacations, unless we get sponsored by Bookings or what's the funny? Nothing beats a JetBlue holiday. Maybe they should sponsor. Maybe they should sponsor the stream. So we do still have some green despite some heavy red here. Some heavy red right now. I don't know. Did something happen with the market? Let's see. CNBC. By the way, USD to euro We are also seeing some slight improvements there. It's now at 1.15. We were at 1.18, I think 2 months ago or something. Okay, so we have NVIDIA stock that climbs as US approved chip sale to UAE under Microsoft deal. Okay. We have the OpenAI Amazon thing. And that's about it. For the rest, nothing that would really make me look for explanations as to why these things are down. Like I told you, the 1% up in PayPal before the open is a deception, because we are now down 0.6%. Matt is telling us here that manufacturing PMI beat estimates. I guess that's good. Actually, no. Let's look at the probability of a rate cut in December, if that has changed since the other day. I highly doubt it. No, it's still the same. Still 68.5%. Still 68.5%, as you can see right here. Next one is in 37 days and 3 hours. Still 68.5%, which is higher than Friday, but of course lower than the 94% a week ago. So that is that. That is that. Nebius crashed. Not really. Nebius is back to prices not seen since what? Friday. So no, not a crash. Not a crash. Where is CoreWeave? I thought CoreWeave would have actually stabilized after the Core Scientific thing was over, but apparently I was wrong. I think the Core Scientific, the deal that didn't go through is just pure greed. Because let's be honest, before CoreWeave's announcement of acquisition, nobody really paid attention to Core Scientific. And these are the manufacturing PMI figures. So came in better than expected, I guess. I guess so. What do we have here? Apple to power next Siri with Google Gemini. Okay, apparently, according to Mark Gurman from Bloomberg, he's one that follows Apple very, very closely for many, many years. And isn't the Fed? Yes, I mean, that's all. I don't understand why people are not talking more about this as well. Like the fact that we are quantitative tightening is ending December 1st is a good thing. Of course, if we can get another rate cut, that's even better. But the fact that QT is ending, in my opinion, is good. But yeah, Apple Siri is going to be powered by Google Gemini. I guess it will make Siri actually a functioning AI bot or agent or whatever. What else do we have here before we end? And I can work on the next video. TSMC unveils 4-year price hike for advanced chips starting 2026. Okay. They raised their prices by 3 to 5% annually on its 543 and upcoming 2 nanometer chip making process. This is a good one. You get an OpenAI deal. You get an OpenAI deal. You get an OpenAI deal. Everybody gets an OpenAI deal. Should have added a little disclaimer here. Please don't ask us about how we're getting the money. I don't think I don't think the shareholder thought there were more. I think 2 shareholders convinced the base that they should be asking for more. And now they don't, even if you thought that they were worth more, you are still getting CoreWeave shares, which means that you're getting CoreWeave and Core Scientific, in your opinion, as undervalued. right? Because I do believe that Core Scientific with CoreWeave is a better company than a standalone company. Like that's the way I would have, thought about it, I guess. But okay, now Core Scientific and CoreWeave will just continue with their previous, what was it, 10-year deal or something like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was more about greed than anything else. But okay, whatever. Should we buy? First of all, thank you for the super chat. Should we buy Meta? If so, what's the price prediction before end of year? I don't know about end of year, but I do think that picking some Meta up at what price are we now? It doesn't really matter the exact pricing, but yeah, it's up 1.5%. Big deal. Right now, it's still under the 200-day moving average. It was oversold. And on the weekly, I do believe that we're trying to make our way back above the 50-day one. If you were looking for a Meta dip to enter, I think this is the one. I will, again, explain a little bit more in the video coming out later today, but I don't know what the end of the year price target is going to be. I just know that Meta is doing what it should be doing to become an even bigger company in the long-term future. And I mean, if you have 3 point something billion users every single month that use your services, I think you will be able to monetize it very well in the future. So that's what I would say here. Where is Course actually right now? Oh, Course actually went up. So the thing here, is Course going up right now because they believe there is another bid coming from someone else? Because it's pretty clear that CoreWeave was not willing to increase their bid. So is this because someone else might be coming in, or is someone else coming in with a deal for the business? CoreWeave should offer more. Again, why should they offer more? If we look at where Core Scientific was before, Core Scientific before was at $12. Then we had the deal announcement. I believe it was here. Then we have the deal announcement, and then it traded flat, and then it went back. It went back up. For CoreWeave, the deal made sense based on probably their own contract with Core Scientific, and that's why they wanted to pay the price that they wanted to pay. But to me, again, it's more about what happens when the two companies are combined. The two companies combined would have made one better company. I think that's something that investors fail to realize, that you as a Core Scientific shareholder, you now become a Core Scientific shareholder and a CoreWeave one. And as CoreWeave shareholders, we now own also Core Scientific, which makes us a better company. Like, for the extra $3 or so, you're now still going to be a standalone company. I think CoreWeave has way more pull power than Core Scientific. But okay, didn't happen. Okay, what is this? First of all, thank you for the super chat. Rare earth players, MP Material, USR, and REE are down because I don't know if they're are they. I assume they're down. If you're telling me that they're down, then they are down. MP Material is down indeed. They're down. They were up before. Pre-market, I think there were some headlines that said that they were up. Is it because of the deal with China? Probably yes, but still, the move towards de-risking from China's hold on rare earth materials is still going to continue. So all of these players, MP Material and the others, are still going to become more important in the future than they were before. Of course, there has been a lot of chasing, right? There has been a lot of chasing. And so now that we have a deal, although I would have assumed that the deal would have made a lot more positive noise in the market, but apparently it did not. But yeah, this is This is probably the reason. Yes, the deal and the delayed, I would say, the delayed problems. What about Webull? Webull is down 2%. Down 2%. They're reporting at the end of November. I'd be surprised if it's not a good quarter. I'd be surprised if it's not a good quarter. Yeah, I mean, that is true. That is true. I don't know. It seems like the market is not, because again, the whole China-US thing, when it's negative, then the market is like, okay, that's a good reason to slam the red button. But when we actually reach something positive, it's like the market doesn't want to react positively. So, bit strange, but okay. Anyways, we'll end it here. It was a very long stream, actually, and we have plenty of streams coming up this week, so don't want to overdo it. But this is basically it. Quite an ugly heat map, I would say. There's some greens here and there, but quite a lot of red. Finance, consumer staples, quite a lot of red. I'll end with this then, because you asked nicely. Can you comment whether it'd be better to buy CoreWeave pre or post earnings? It's the answer I give to every question that is the same question here. If you want to own it, you buy a little bit before the earnings, and then you add after the earnings if you like the information that you got. It's very simple. If it goes up, at least your initial position is up, and then maybe you'd be happy to pay extra for the extra information that you got. And if it goes down for bad reasons, you can add more. Easy. If it's down for good reason, then you can reevaluate your, let's say, positioning in that company. Anyways, that's what I've got for you today. Hopefully we have a wonderful rest of a Monday. Good luck to Palantir and HIM's shareholders later today. We'll probably cover that tomorrow, although we have a lot to talk about tomorrow. So we'll see how we'll manage all of it. See each other in the next one. Have a